Good morning. Good morning. So this morning I would like to share a little bit about receptivity. Receptivity. So this connects with how we get insight, but also how we make decisions. We have been living for a long time, thousands of years, in cultures that encourage mental thinking and mind over feeling and inner knowing, inner guidance. Hi Paula, hi Tammy, welcome. So today's theme is receptivity, and the card that I pulled is the Priestess of Water. So this is sort of the ultimate feminine energy of feeling, intuition, emotion, that sort of thing. And so I'm not welcoming anyone to the videos right now, Paula. So we're just going to do it. I'll just share my little bit and then I have to go because actually I want to get on Tammy's call in a few minutes. So, okay, so receptivity. So I got this card and then I went into meditation, and I had this amazing experience with mermaids. I suddenly as soon as I went into meditation, I was drowning in all of this seaweed. And I remembered that sound carries through water much quicker than it does through the air. And I just started calling out help. And I had gone into mermaids. I had gone into the meditation recognizing that I was starting to feel a lot of nervous energy feelings related to my business, some of the decisions that need to be made around that, some of the fear that's coming up as I see some old patterns repeating. And I was like, wow, I thought I was done with all of these themes. And then I immediately remembered that life is a spiral, and welcome Brenda. Life is a spiral, and so the themes that we deal with on one level of consciousness come back for us to clear or understand at a deeper level when we grow and change. So what I recognized is, here I am in this imagination in my meditation. I'm sort of drowning and yelling out help, knowing that the sound will carry across the water a lot quicker. And all of a sudden, all these mermaids come and bring me to the surface and take me and lay me on a rock and begin to do something to me that feels really wonderful. And I'm like, what is this? And they're rubbing my whole body with seaweed, which we know seaweed is really good for the skin. So thank you, Brenda. It's good to see you here. I know I'm off on a wild tangent here. Thank you for your lovely comment. So this particular message today is rather magical and mystical. So again, it's receptivity. It's the Priestess of Cups, and I went into a meditation to reflect on this card and just life overall. Had all of this nervous energy, and then suddenly a vision came. So these mermaids rescued me. They rubbed my whole body with seaweed, and then, okay, now it gets really wild. And this is really not typical of me, but I'm started sharing this story, so I'm going to share the whole thing. So this dragon shows up. What can I say? A dragon flew down onto the rock, and the dragon is like looking over at me, and it's a very friendly dragon. And so right away I said, dragon, what do I do about this anxiousness I'm feeling in these old themes around my money and my business and money related to the business, and how to make decisions around it. So it's not the old story of I don't have enough of it. It's a different story about who do I work with and why and what do I charge and how do I make these decisions based on my skill sets and stuff. So where do I put my energy basically for the revenue generation? And so the dragon immediately said, be calm, rest, and receive right now. And that was the first thing. And then, I thought about dragons because they sit, the reputation of dragons is they sit on all the gold and they hoard the money. And then he said, don't hoard, but be wise. And then I think there was another message, but I'm getting invest in yourself. But don't give it away. Don't give it away. Yeah. And then he flew away. Okay. So all of this stuff is coming in. There's mermaids, there's dragons. I mean, this is not typical meditation for me, but I'm going with it because I have to trust my own receptivity to guidance. So that sort of leads to the rest of what I want to share here today, which is because we have been raised in Western culture, mostly in Eastern culture too, to create with the mind and to figure everything out with our brains, we've often cut off our ability to be receptive to creative solutions. And we've often lost our ability to be creative and imaginative. So, I mean, look at what it's like, at least in the States, and I don't know where else, maybe Europe too, or nations in Europe, where teachers have to go buy art supplies because the arts have been so cut off. Everything is about left brain, analytical, mental, and that is only half of our brains. We are creative beings. And if we lose access to our creativity because we have no more receptivity, because we're totally left brain and rational, we lose a significant quality of our power. And we start to drown in information. We start to drown in garbage. I don't know if any of you have seen that video that's going around on Facebook about this guy who's scuba diving and he brings his selfie camera and he shows all the garbage, and I don't remember where he is. I think he's off the west coast of the States. I'm not sure. So we have to begin to call back our ability to be receptive. And how do we do that? Well, anytime it's a water card that indicates using water as your medium. So you could literally bless your water that you drink every day and say, I open my receptivity to create the creative muse. I open to be more receptive to guidance for this decision I need to make. I mean, anything you do to set your attention and your intention to activate creativity or rather receptivity to guidance. The intention alone is extremely powerful. Why? Because we're very creative beings. We're powerful beings. But the use of water in that process, so creating an altar that has a lot of blues and turquoises and put a big vessel of water there, and every day when you wake up, set the intention, I am receptive to my higher guidance. I am receptive to divine guidance. I am receptive to a creative solution to this problem. All of those kinds of things can help you activate. And then, and this is what I speak to myself here for this. When you meditate every day, when you go into your meditation, if you do that, and of course I always encourage that, notice those little visions or little imaginations that come, and rather than dismissing them as just, oh, I'm just not meditating, I'm busy thinking about this other thing, actually go with it and see where it leads you. Now here's the trick, because the mind will lead you down the path of, down the garden path over and over and over again. So how do you know the difference? This is the key. So I'm going to do my own receptivity here and catch my thread and see if there's a way to describe the difference. So when you are receptive and the mind takes over, the mind is loud and it's logical and it's thinking about all the things outside of the this now moment. So let's say you have a question. Here's your question. Your question's right here. Your mind is going to think of all these other things, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and here, well, how about if you do it this way? And then if the mind projects out into the future, and then tries to figure it out. That's not the same as when you open receptively like a flower, and all of a sudden you receive this guidance that comes very softly, and it often comes very creatively in a creative imagination, like, oh, here I am drowning in the water calling help, and the mermaids come and they take me to a rock and rub me down with seaweed, and a dragon lands. That is not the mind, that is the creative imagination. That's the right brain. That's your right receptive side rather than your left analytical side. So how that will show up for you, of course, it's different for all of us. And what I did today, I want to share this now. So when I first sat in meditation, because I had a lot of quivering and energy around nervousness and dismay about my business or distress, it even tied into these videos going, oh, what's the point of doing this, Dawn? There's no strategy around it. You're not helping anyone. Nobody watches it. Why do you do it? And so all of this stuff was coming in for me. I took 4 very, very deep breaths. So the mind was running, and the mind was trying to figure out things and taking me into the future and going, well, how could I do this better? And what's the answer to my question? And I took 4 very deep breaths through my mouth, like I learned with the breath work the other day, where I kept the cycle of the breath, so I didn't stop or pause in between. I breathed in really fully, deeply, breathed out really fully, deeply, in through my mouth, out through my mouth, in 4 times. And then I sat, and then that's when all of a sudden this vision started to come of me, drowning, and then the mermaids and the dragon and the seaweed, and the peace that surpasseth understanding came and rested in my heart. And so again, one more time, just to show you the card, receptivity. So how can you invoke, intend, and attend to being more receptive to divine guidance, answers, and solutions to the challenges of your life? And how might you creatively use the element of water to flow with answers? And of course, if you can swim, then swim. If you're in cold country and it's snowing, maybe you need to go make angels in the snow and say, I open to receptivity. Here in Bali, I swim every day. And you can always bless your water. I activate receptivity in this glass of water before I drink it, and as I drink it, I receive the guidance and the solutions that I seek. So, with that, I wish you all bright blessings, and I'm on to my friends. I'm going to attend now a beautiful Facebook Live with High Vibe Crystal Tribe. So, yay! Learning about crystals next. Talk to you tomorrow. Sending love.